Let's see. Make sure it's live on my end. I sent the link in the Senko chat already.
Right.
Let's see.
Oh, nice.
What the fuck? What was that?
What is going on?
How'd you do that?
It's part of Mac OS.
What?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Wait, that I didn't know you could do that on like this call though.
On
Wow,
like
that's
just
so dope.
anything?
Yeah, it does it at like the OS level, so it hijacks all of your video unless you turn it off.
I don't think I got it. Well, are you using your webcam?
I'm using an external webcam. Like it's just
Really?
Apple just decided you want this, and it's an opt out. It's not an opt in.
Damn, dude.
Cool.
It's much better than Samsung's thing where like you take a picture and it's automatically like, beautified. It's like your face.
Oh
is like,
yeah.
I hate that, dude. Yeah. It makes my face look perfect, but in reality, it looks like a crater with like tons of holes and shit.
No, it makes your already perfect face look like a porcelain doll. It's really creepy.
That is creepy.
All right, guys. Right. Well, getting started over here on the stream. Got a couple people in the chat already. I'm sure more people will join as we go on. But I am very very happy here. I'm joined by the folks over at ChainCraft. Have you guys? Do you guys usually just introduce ChainCraft first when you go on? Like, is this like a kind of like a new thing for y'all? I know you said you did a live stream before, but have you done a live stream yet with someone else?
We did something with Get Small. I've done just some live demo just to jump in and test out our OBS settings. But no, not a lot really yet. Or no, I did one with John Constantine.
I think this is an inaugural official stream.
Yes.
Oh, sweet. That's awesome. Look at that. Appreciate it. All right. Hey, Eddie, appreciate the mints. Shot over an Addy and a beer for you guys. One Lost Donkeys PFP Hunter. I'll have to change it again soon. I'll have to see some more updates coming out of that camp. Appreciate you for showing up, Eddie. So like we're gonna talk all about ChainCraft today. We're gonna have Buko and Matt over here give us a rundown of what ChainCraft is, kind of what they're working on. Not currently in release form yet, but something that is definitely coming to a chain near you, technically. But yeah, go ahead, guys. Feel free to take over the reins. And I'll interrupt with little questions here and there.
Sure. So I am Bucho or Trigiditron. Name's actually Ryan Beltran. Here with teammate Matt.
Yeah, I'm Matt. I'm Blarg. I'm AKA BKA Bliarg since the EverQuest days. I've been Bliarg, and I'm still Bliarg to this day.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go find your character in Quainos or something.
I think he's still parked in
he's just
at the
AFK.
edge of a wharf in Quainos, nice. AFK for the last 20 years.
Oh man. And we're building ChainCraft. We want to build an AI game builder that's actually on the blockchain in a way that it breaks up the game into components. So you can actually focus on each component, put them together, and make a game. But if you are, say, a game dev, an artist, and you really are good at one of those different components, you should be able to monetize that and earn your fair shake for what you're putting into it. So we're really kind of doing this for the devs, for the artists, for those that really want to put a game together and get paid at the same time. And this is all open source as well.
Hell yeah! I'm also sharing your Twitter screen for those who just want to go and take some, take a look at that or whatever.
I guess I'll also add that like I am more of like the blockchain person on our team, and Matt really has such a extensive background in the game industry as well, and knows devs and what they're going through these days. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that, Matt.
Yeah, I've just been my whole career in and adjacent to games. Spent a lot of time as a creator and producer of games and media, and also just have spent a lot of time around independent creators of all kinds, and particularly game developers, indie game devs. And go to any GDC, just beeline straight to the Indiecade or IGF indie games area, and just start like talking to the people, and you'll see that indie game developers are like the Renaissance artists of the 21st century. I mean, they just have to do everything. They have to be creative force, evangelists. They have to be great designers. They need to be great product people, in many cases, engineers. So that's, enabling people like that has kind of been a huge part of my career to this point, for sure.
Yeah. So up until now, we have, with our dev Eric, he created a bot in our Discord, which actually can help you build a game spec. It's sort of like kind of something we wanted to test out and see if we could start the process that'll eventually lead up to this ability to put a whole game together. So we started by working with our first component, which was this the game mechanics, or like the game specs. So you can pretty much hop on our Discord. Maybe we'll show you in a bit that you can ask it like, hey, I want a game that's educational with unicorns for my daughter, and it's like a match game. I'll add to it that we are focused on like card games first, because we have this like layered approach where we can layer and scaffold and maybe scale into more complex games later. But we feel like, card games right now are actually pretty popular, and it's probably something we could start off with less mechanics and just keep like adding mechanics to it. So we've done that, but then also one thing we haven't really been talking a lot about yet, but we're going to start talking about, is our first Founders Mint, which is going to be like the most important like mint of our project. And we're doing it, one, to both kickstart like a little bit of funding to get us going, to kind of really snowball effect and help us like grow the initial stages of it. But we're also doing it in a way where we're working with an AI artist who's actually really amazing, and I can't wait to share about who it is. But it's nothing like we've seen on Senko so far. So it'll be really cool, and it kind of touches on the kind of feel and vibe that I think Senko will like. So at the end of the day, you'll get a Founders Mint that'll be a pretty cool piece of art, but it actually will have utility in where you can actually use that as a game component and utilize that art in a game. And so to kind of show you how we want to grow and how these components of game making will work, starting with this artist component, where you will be able to change the cards and also the playing field based on the look of that mint or that art, and maybe a little bit of tweaking that you do as a creator as well. So we're pretty excited about that.
So is a good way to look at ChainCraft like from the lens of, hey, like this is essentially almost like a highly optimized development suite for people who want to create games that are completely custom. So mainly kind of dev focused, or are we kind of talking about like giving almost like the power to like almost regular people to say, you know what, I want to play X kind of game. You get long term, of course, like beyond the initial phase. And they're able to just somehow like use the tooling that you guys have created to create and play whatever game they want to play.
Yeah, I think the answer to that is both, but definitely with a focus on anybody that has an inkling of a spark of wanting to create a game, whether they're a seasoned, grizzled veteran of game dev, or a college student who is trying to get an idea off the ground. I think the place where AI tools are most useful right now is in solving the sort of cold start problem for a lot of people first. It's like, I have an idea, and what LLMs are really good at is taking a lot of disparate information and turning it into organized information. And so the first problem that a game developer has is, how do I even get this idea into people's hands so that I can see if there's a there, there's just anything to this. And what ends up happening pretty much every time, whether it's in game development or in the startup world, developing any kind of new product, is you are 95% likely to be wrong the first time, because you're running off of an inherently biased little piece of meat in your brain, and that's kind of all you have to work with. And you're just biased by your own experience. So if you look at most successful games, the path to that success is just like a trail of dead bodies. It's like failure after failure
Christ.
in order to
Mhm.
nail down what it is that actually works, not just for you, but what it is that works from the stack of miracles that you need to execute in order to make, not just make a game or have the idea for a game, but get it out, have it actually played, and be commercially, importantly, as well as critically successful. And so what we want to do is we want to solve that cold start where it's like, I don't even know how to get the basics of this in a prototyped way so that I can see, do people even care about this? Is this as fun or interesting as I think it's going to be? But then the iteration process, which we currently call failure, but we only call it failure because the only thing that you get out of it is learning. And it's not until you have a success that any of those failures can be kind of recontextualized to be like, oh, maybe that wasn't such a failure because now I've actually, I've made Angry Birds. I'm Rovio. I've made Angry Birds after 99 either middling successes or failures. Those failures don't turn into a success until you reach this all or nothing deal of like getting to the top of the mountain. And
Right.
so what we want to do is we want to use the tools to accelerate your path through those failures quickly, just like iterate, which is the key to like landing on something that actually has product market fit. But then in the process, you've generated and expended, again, back to the Renaissance artist thing, is like you've generated and expended all this energy and love and passion into like building these iterations, like whole ass games probably, that may not see the light of day. And they may not see the light of day, not just, I mean, it's almost like one of the last reasons why a game doesn't succeed. One of the last reasons to explain that is because of the quality of the game. It's so many other reasons why a game may not succeed, but the product is there, the energy is there, the assets have been built, a lot of the stuff is just there already. And it's often, and I've seen this so many times in the games industry, being behind the scenes, is like it's so often that like you see a success and you're like, oh man, I've played that game like 6 times already. It just never made it outside of the demo booth. And it's sort of like there's this reality that like when a game hits, it's not just that it's like the first time it's been tried, it's just the first perfectly timed execution of that thing. So if as a developer I've iterated through like 6 versions of a game and I've put heart and soul into it, I want to have as much upshot as possible to still be able to monetize that, not just learn from it. So that's where I think blockchain technology comes into it, is the ability to say like, I have all these assets, these mechanics, this structure in place, and maybe somebody else can find a good home for it in like a year later because market conditions are more favorable, whatever, many reasons why that can happen. That is something that I can get benefit from, which just means I'm more willing to get into the hard yards of like iterating and developing. And that's where, at the end of the day, that's where all innovation in the game space comes from. All of the dope new genres that come out, the next Souls like, the next Vampire Survivors like, all come from risk after risk. And in order for that to be a thing, it needs to be the opposite of what the games industry is right now, which is all franchises. It's all COD and Fortnite and just the mega giants. I read a stat recently that was like it's like 40% of revenue from online games come from like 3 games. From mobile games come from like 3 games. That's like a
Wow.
massively stacked.
Wow.
It's like the
Yeah.
odds are so stacked against you right now. It's like, why would you even get into this as a career? And then you have this desert of innovation. So it all kind of fits together, but it starts with like, yo, just accelerate that process as much as you can.
Man, and I mean, like, it's just like if you have all these components and somebody else also sees what you've created and might have that extra idea or concept, like maybe it's just that one thing that needed to be tweaked to move it past that finish line. And yeah, if all these things that you create are now components that are on the blockchain or on a marketplace that anybody can kind of pick and choose and play with, I think that will just, and then it is the name of the game with AI, is like just that speeding up iteration and trying things out. And I think we are doing it in this way where we're doing it open source. We're trying to do it together with the community. We're trying to have incentives where you will get revenue if you make something innovative by either selling that component or getting revenue from a game that maybe takes on that component. we
Right.
feel like this is a way to kind of accelerate it or kind of have this snowball effect as we grow.
What a good way, and like, so forgive maybe if I'm like simplifying it too much, but I try to like contextualize things, especially like kind of new projects that come out when they have like very innovative ideas. I think it's hard to like put it in like a way that people can really like grasp. So when I think about ChainCraft and kind of like everything that you guys are saying, I almost think of like you mentioned like the Souls games. I think what comes to mind as well is like it's like Farmville in a way, in that like you have like this base of a game that as relatively actually pretty successful, both of them, but have had like many different iterations on top of the original base game. Every iteration adds on to into the last one, different components, whether it's like a change to like the gameplay itself, a change to like maybe like how the character interacts with like the monsters, or change to like the combat system, what have you. Each of those changes could technically, I guess from what I'm understanding, is like could be created by someone individually, added on to a potential base of a game that's already been created, maybe with ChainCraft, and then the originator of that potential piece that was added to the game could monetize that if that game were to say be like a next smash hit. Is that like a good way of thinking about it? Almost like open source contribution to like building games with like almost as if they were like Lego blocks. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, the modular nature is definitely accurate.
Right.
I think looking at it from the standpoint of an existing IP that's been out there, I think that's actually a great point. Is like having been through that process is like when Farmville releases like a DLC, or like Elden Ring release, FromSoft releases a new expansion for Elden Ring. There is so much testing and iteration that goes into that. There's like
Right.
they're just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing like what truly sticks with players. So this process of like being able to iterate on a new concept, I think applies just as much to that as it does to new indie developers. But yeah, absolutely, the ability to say there is a marketplace of these sort of prepackaged sets of mechanics or assets, and say we are turning this games as a service product into like getting it to its next release, I think is a really good way of thinking about it.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, there's so many people that are out there like the game should be like this, the game should be like that. And like now they can kind of put the money where their mouth is and be like, you know what, actually I just tried it. Like I ran it through ChainCraft and no, that didn't work. Or no shit, this actually does work. And it actually, everybody can sort of win. The person with the great idea can have less friction to try out that idea. And if it fits, the community likes it, like it could be like a new DLC or a new add-on, if sort of the game creator brings it on, or the community decides to bring it on. That's the sort of way we would love to grow this. And we want to just keep also like we want to be considerate of the artists, the sound engineers, like all those are big parts of the game as well. That's why hence our like our first mint is going to involve an artist, because that can kind of like, they're a big part of the games as well, is being able to bring a really good, interesting look and feel and vibe to it. And then maybe a little past that, we'll start bringing on sound design. But maybe we could do a little demo on Discord right now, because right now you can come in and mess with our game builder. So I will see if I can share that.
Yeah.
Let's
When I
see.
see it pop up, I'll add it to the screen. It's a really interesting idea, though. Actually, it's funny. I feel like it's very interesting how like it doesn't feel like anyone's really come up with anything like similar to that. It's just it's just like such a, I don't know, such an interesting approach, I guess, to like game development.
There has been, it's like I feel like there's all these different approaches that AI has come to cross over into gaming, and a lot of it is, I mean, the first iteration I saw was like NPCs that just talked, like AI chatting,
Right.
and then, or just like maybe assets. I feel like it was like people trying to jump ahead to the very final thing, and I feel like we are taking a separate approach. Like, let's try to like simplifies, like, where can we start to build something? And we were even thinking of like matchmaking game, like what's the simplest thing we could start with, and then little by little layer it up and go to maybe like, so it's card games now, eventually it could be like a platformer, maybe eventually it could be 3D, kind of grow with where the community wants to go. So let's do a game description. You can go to our Discord, and we have a game builder section here.
I'll send the link to the Discord chat.
And actually, yeah, anybody can come in and use this right away and share their game ideas. And it's just like Midjourney. You could use it to basically prompt it a game idea. So does anybody have a Hunter? Do you have a, just come up with anything, good, bad, anything on the fly? On the
llamas
spot.
With weapons.
Okay.
Should I get more descriptive? Is that good?
We can get more descriptive. I tend to sometimes just go with the quickest thing too. I'm just like, let's see where you start with, and let's see what.
Yeah, John has just said something. Oh my god, that's a horror movie. Dude said a game where you need to pick up the noses of giants and clean out their nostrils.
Oh, I love that. I love that description. Let's see. So, well, yours came up, so we're gonna go ahead and try that.
Yeah.
Llamas with weapons. Sometimes it produces a game, a visual, and right now it did not, but the title is Llamas with Weapons, gives you a game overview. Llamas with Weapons is a fast-paced, chaotic card game where players take on the role of llamas armed with various weapons. It's exactly what you asked for. The objective is to be the best llama standing, or the last llama standing, by defeating your opponents through strategic card game and cunning tactics. So again, this all is meant to be like whatever you put in, it's going to make a card-based game. So deck of cards.
Last llama standing, LLS. I think we've just invented like a new acronym in games.
That's wild.
Oh man. So it kind of, and it'll do this for all the games. Like it'll give you the gameplay, game setup. It'll kind of poke around and see if you want to go further into it. I do honestly want to see what it does for Chandis's suggestion, a game where you pick the nose of giants and clean out their nostrils. So I'm gonna.
What the hell?
Oh wait, I have to do that one from the beginning. Let's try this. So I'm gonna put his there because I also want to see if it comes up with a visual, because that would be a pretty crazy image to create.
So is the general idea for this too, for like, so from this method here, let's say you like exactly what the game spits out at you. Is the idea there to like actually like have some sort of like front end kind of like spun up for it and like obviously like deployed on chain or what have you, or am I getting like way too ahead of like the idea?
I mean, that's where we want to get to, is that there's a front end, but then also we're seeing how much we can do within the Discord to just see if it can be a place where everybody can like be a community and see what everybody else is building. But and the ability to actually mint them from Discord, but we do want it to have live on our website where you can do this.
Taking it a step beyond concept, like this stage of giving you an overall structure to review is stage one, and saying the LLM, the AI telling you like, is this even close to what you're thinking? Once you approve that, then the next stages that we're working on right now is that you can actually get an executable code block that can be run inside of WebGL inside of Discord.
Okay,
so you can actually test the mechanics of the game with like proto assets. Like,
that would be that. Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Also, that's disgusting, dude. Carefully extract gunk and debris. That is terrifying. Yeah.
Chandis, you're a game creator now.
What the fuck?
The game board represents a giant's nose, the interior of the giant's nose. The board features various obstacles and hazards such as mucus piles, nose hairs, and sneezing triggers. Oh, watch out. Yeah.
Imagine telling someone they have gunk and debris in their nose. I would take offense to that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It just means it's working, bro.
Let's see. On their turn, a player moves their adventure token through the nasal passages, navigating around obstacles and hazards. When a player's token reaches the nose gunk token, they can use their tweezers to carefully extract it. from the
Right.
giant's nose. This is beautifully done.
I think
This is like a Deep Rock Galactic, but instead of it being on an asteroid, you're inside of someone's nostrils. What it sounds like.
Deviated spetum or whatever septum is a DLC pack. Actually, that'd be
what the
a new map.
I think like
Yes.
so. I'm glad we did
Chonda's
both of
prop
those.
Yeah.
I'm glad we did the llama one and this one because I think so. Like Chondas is like I think because he had just a little bit more text in there that gave a little bit more of like context of what he wanted. I think that
Yeah.
made a very big difference actually.
And sometimes
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not working, but it would have been wonderful. It will usually come up with like a graphic, just like if you were to say the same thing to Midjourney or whatever.
I'm so glad there's no graphic for this.
Yeah, probably for the best. And so when you like how the game is, you can hit approve or share, or you can just keep talking with it like you would ChatGPT or any other AI. But you can share it, and then it'll go to the creation sharing area. So we just have like a vampire unicorn game, potatoes versus zombies, just random things that we have put together. This game, is it over? I think I was testing this out and I typed in is it over because I didn't know if like the interaction with the game AI was over, and it's like it created a game called Is It Over, and you just have a deck of cards that you and this other person try to figure out if the game is over or not, and that's it. It's just like
Oh, God.
yeah. So it's
That's
kind
the
of fun,
goat.
and
That's the
we
goat
think
concept, I think.
this would be a great way to get like those happy accidents of like once we can start seeing mechanics in action and people sandbox it or like tweak around with it. I'm excited to see what could happen there. Yeah. But yeah.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, since we're coming up here on time, is there like for those who like are I guess interested in like kind of getting a little more deep diving into this and maybe even like trying out like the actual game itself, or like I should say the game builder itself, which we give them the Discord link? What, anything else?
Yeah, go to our Twitter, follow us, or Discord link, because we are going to be giving hints out to our upcoming Founders Mint, which is going to lead to being a big part of this project, like getting early access to things, subscription models once this kind of has more tooling involved, airdrops, things like that. And ultimately it's gonna support us on our journey to move forward. But if you want to participate, go to our Discord, start chatting, start playing with this, and give us feedback. That's kind of how we want to grow.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm very excited to see also like as you guys continue to grow, like what Matt was saying, like some of the next steps were like different like parts of the game are actually starting to be like deployed on chain. There's some sort of like web UI that's created too. Like I think that's when you'll just get like you're essentially almost creating like I mean, again, dumbing it down so much right now, but like the pump fun of games.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah,
In a way.
like if people just can easily make a game and see how they do. So
Literally.
We'll see.
That's amazing.
Thanks for having us, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for coming on. This is awesome. We should definitely do it again for sure.
Definitely.
For sure. Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right,
Chondas, appreciate you for coming on. Thank you, Matt Bucho. And then we'll end it off here, guys. We'll be in the Telegram chat if you guys have any questions, obviously. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Adios. Bye.
All right. And this